feminine hygiene hacks. Ladies, keep watching as we go over feminine hygiene hacks that you can start using today. Bonjour! Welcome to Clinique Molière, where we increase awareness and improve the quality of living. I'm Rachelle, and on this channel, we talk about mindful living, self-development, and woman and maternal-child health. So we're going to start with some of the most common approaches to feminine hygiene care, including diet. So if you watch some of my other videos, you know how important diet is. Okay, again, mind, body, spirit. And this is no exclusion of that. Offer your best self by making healthy food choices, staying hydrated. Those two are going to be your most common and basic approaches to increasing and boosting your feminine hygiene care. So the next one we'll talk about is probiotic, and I'm a little bit biased with a couple things if you watch my other video: green tea, vitamin D, probiotic, and a couple others, but this video is no short of that. At least we're consistent. Probiotics going to promote your healthy gut flora. Okay, so that's going to be really important. So another one that goes hand in hand with that is going to be apple cider vinegar. I know there's multiple benefits to that one, but I've made it a daily practice of mine to include apple cider vinegar in my hydration efforts throughout the day. So apple cider vinegar, not only does it burn fat, but it also, the acidic acid also helps promote healthy gut flora as well. So that's another thing, is promoting that healthy, good bacteria, which you want that good vaginal flora, and that is what you want to help prevent infections. So the next one is a big one. It's going to be your feminine products that have, whether it's a cleanser or a sanitary napkin or a tampon, that have perfumes, dyes, paraben, or any of those sorts. The recommendation, if you're having any feminine, again, care issues, then you may want to consider unscented products or products that are without those dyes, again, perfumes, parabens, you name it. I'm actually a huge advocate of less is more down there. Less is more in the peri area, okay? I'm a huge advocate that the vagina as a self-cleansing organ. Definitely consider that when you are choosing your cleansing products and, again, your feminine products. Speaking of pH, there are certain instances where your pH is just off balance, making you more susceptible to unwanted odors and potentially infections. I am, again, not a huge fan for cleansing agents, but I am a huge fan of Rephresh, okay? It's one of the more natural options for restoring natural pH. I recommend Rephresh after the menstrual flow, because the menstrual flow can also offset or off balance your pH, your vaginal pH. Also, unprotected intercourse, so semen can offset your natural pH, again, leaving you more susceptible to unwanted odors or unwanted infections. So take a look into Rephresh if you haven't heard about it or tried it yet. It's one of the top on my list for client recommendation. In addition to everything we already discussed, you want to say no to a couple things. Say no to douching. Okay, so Rephresh is very different from douching. Okay, so say no to douching. Say no to tight-fitting clothes. Say no to moist underwear. So even in the summer months, or if it gets really warm, or if you know you have excessive sweating, which we're going to talk about shortly, but you want to change your underwear throughout the day. It's a thing, okay? Literally change your underwear. You can pack additional underwear, especially if you have long hours at work. So say no to moist underwear. Say yes to cotton underwear. And definitely no to moist underwear, especially when you're at home at night. Say no to underwear altogether if it's appropriate for you. The next thing we'll talk about, and then we'll discuss the mind, body, spirit, because on this channel we are always discussing that connection. So we're never talking about one aspect of self. So if we're talking about hygiene, we're going to talk about as within, so without. We're going to talk about that connection of mind, body, spirit with every single thing we talk about, which is so cool because you're not just one aspect of yourself, are you? No. So the next thing we'll talk about is excessive sweating. So that's actually a thing. It's hyperhidrosis. I would say if you notice excessive sweating, again, hyperhidrosis, I would recommend going to your dermatologist or your provider and looking into getting different treatment options. There's a lot of options to treat this condition. It's actually a thing, so don't ignore what's individualized to you. As within, so without. So again, we talked about that mind, body, spirit connection. And just because you ignore certain aspects of yourself doesn't mean they don't influence each other. So Louise Hay does some amazing work on how the inner manifestations are direct correlation with your outer manifestations. And feminine care, body odor is no short of that. Okay, so we like to address all aspects of self on this channel. Louise Hay considers, when it comes to body odor, etc., she considers fear, disliking of yourself, or fear of others. So you're going to want to consider, what are you fearing, and what are you disliking of yourself, and what are you fearing of others. So you want to address it. So you want to do the healing work. You want to do, again, as within, so without. So you want to do the healing work, and then the inner work that it takes, because you can buy every product on the shelf and you still won't resolve this issue unless you do the inner work. We're going to always bring it home and always stress how important it is for you to get that connection that it is, because we're all connected. Okay, so how are you going to address the concern? You can, again, just being aware of it. So making note of it. You're going to write it down. Maybe you can do a moment of silence with it. Surface the emotions that you feel when you bring up the topic. So what are you fearing? What are you disliking of yourself? How hard are you on yourself? And what are you fearing about other people? Then when you bring it to the surface, you're going to address that you no longer need it and no longer serves you. So you want to thank it, gratitude, thank the fear for trying to protect you. Whatever the moment was, maybe childhood, maybe there's a trauma and there's a fear of others, or there's a dislike of yourself. Whatever the fear was, you want to thank it for protecting you during that time. But you're going to say you no longer need it and it no longer serves you, and you're ready to move forward, or you're ready to release. Okay, so this is really important work to do. So you want to release that fear, release that need to fear, whatever the fear is. Okay, so once you release it, you address it, you release it, and then you adopt a new pattern. And so the affirmation for this particular health element is, I love and approve of myself. I am safe. So tell yourself, I love and approve of myself. Say it with me. I love and approve of myself. I am safe. And that does it for this video. Find the resources below. Thank you so much for watching. It was a pleasure to present this information, and I'm so happy about this Women's Health Maternal-Child series. Comment below if there's any topics that you want to discuss. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Merci.